Saraswati ma'am, yes.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Sagunji. Yeah, namaste to you all. So I would like to welcome you all to our second sharing session. So we are again excited to welcome you all here. Uh, Before we start, I think we have two updates. First one, like if you have been following our program schedule that we shared with you all at the very beginning of our events. I mean last month. So we hear like one of our presenters, because of her health issues, she couldn't present, like Nasrat Gulzar. Because of her health issues, she couldn't give her presentation today. So we have requested Vivaja from Nepal to substitute her place. So thank you so much, Vivaji, for kindly accepting our request. And we do hope that Nasrat, she is getting better. So we wish for your good health. And the second update is that in our previous presentation, I mean, in our previous session, our first session, what we did was like all the four presenters, they presented one after another, and then we had a discussion session only at the end. But this time we have slightly modified that. So we are planning to have like the first presenter will present, and then there will be a discussion like for 10 minutes discussion. So it will go like that. So presentation, 20-minute presentation, 10-minute discussion, and again then so this time each presenter will present, and then we'll have 10 minutes for the discussion. So we are going to organize our event in that way today. So today's first presenter, let me welcome him. He is Gopal Prasad Basal. He is from Nepal. It seems like he has several identities. He is a teacher, he's a writer, teacher trainer, and also a translator. He has been translating. So, Mr. Basal, he has a very long experience of teaching at school level, and he has also been teaching at higher education context. So, he is currently a teacher. He is a teacher educator at Education Training Center, Palpa, Nepal. He has published several English textbooks and reference books as well. And he has also authored several poems and stories, both in English and Nepali language. On top of that, he has published several articles in peer reviewed journals and newspapers. And yeah, he has translated Nepalese poems, travelogues, and articles into English. It's amazing to know about you, Gopal sir. Now, yeah, and here today, I think he is going to talk about writing processes. So over to you, Gopal sir.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Saraswati Dawadi, for your uh, very what comprehensive introduction about me. And okay, so am I audible?
Yes, yes. Gopal sir, just a minute. I'm sorry. I would like to request Sagun sir to chair this session, please. Thank you, Gopal sir. Yes.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Where is it? Yes. Okay, so thank you, Saraswati ma'am, once again, and the chair of this program, Mr. Sagun Srestha, and my respected guru, Professor Ramas Skiri, and all the mentors over here. So I'm very much pleased to share my uh, experiences, and yeah, I think this is a very successful experience, and then hope you will all be very patient to listen to my experiences, and then I'll be happy to take part in the post presentation discussion session as well. So I'm Gopal Prasad Basal from Nepal. You can just remember me, Gopal from Nepal. So, and my today's presentation is on writing. And this is the context. You can see that in Nepal, both the school curricula and the university curricula has given a lot of emphasis on writing, and even reading skill is followed by written exercises. That means even during reading, let's just practice writing. And at secondary level, lots of texts, including biography, essay, email, book and film review, and similarly descriptions, narratives, dialogue, story writing, news story writing, congratulations and condolence messages writing, and even advertisement writing. So lots of texts are prescribed at secondary level curriculum. It gives 35% of weightage for writing skill. And our final test, not only final, even the terminal tests are dominant. Our written tests are dominant at all level education system in Nepal. And not only English, the other subjects like Nepali, the language subject, and even social studies also included lots of analytical answer question activities there, exercises there. That's why a lot of writing practice should have been taken place in this formal education system. Unfortunately, the students are not taught, or they are not practicing writing skills. I mean, they are just provided the entire text. The teacher provides the whole text as a note, lecture's note or teacher's note, and they are not led throughout the different stages of writing. That's why they just copy, right? Mainly, there is copying of the entire text, so that this skill of writing is a bit ignored or neglected in our regular system, teaching learning system. That's why I focused on the secondary level English teachers group, and my experiment or this presentation is based on the training sessions I conducted under the Education Training Center, Lumini Province, especially in Palpa and Dang district. Almost I cover all the districts of province number, this Lumini province of Nepal. So uh, I when I practiced all these strategies or activities, so I got some wonderful result there. For example, uh, always I start with a question that how much have you written so far? And many teachers respond negatively that writing is a complex skill and writing is I'm not writing, so nobody raises hand, right? And then, but after this these activities, I find that the teachers are more motivated on writing. And another good thing is that the participants were led throughout the free writing, while writing, and post writing activities. And during the presentation, during the session, I found that some of the activities are not much practiced in school or in the college. So this presentation, this practice made them aware of the possible activities which can be practiced in different stages of writing. And another thing is that usually what happens, you see, that what to write is a big challenge, right? So students don't know what to write. They lack the facts. For example, we assign them writing about the village or about their locality, their municipality or rural municipality or something like that. But They don't know about the area of the village, or they don't know about the population of the village, or they don't know about the interesting places of their village. So that's sort of a problem, some kind of lack of evidences, lack of facts, lack of data is there. So how to explore data, that is a very significant thing that we tried in the classroom. And another thing is that this kind of activity uh, developed some sort of confidence on writing the expository text. And also that we very often talk about the product versus process approach of writing, but practice very rarely. And this lesson motivated us to practice that process approach of writing in the classroom. And in the very beginning, I always ask them, what have you written so far? And have you published any article or any book or any poem or any ghazals and in the local newspaper or in local FM radio or in local TV channel? And then why are you doing that, and why are you not doing that? So this takes a little bit time, and then that leads them towards understanding the significance of writing. And this is one list that I collected from different sources and compiled this way, that this becoming a writer is a very fancy phrase, for example, but how can we do that? So there's a kind of list you can see there, that reading, learn everything, set the deadlines, create a book out of book, and don't look away, and have passion and patience, and find someone who inspires you to write something, and also write regularly and publish. Publish doesn't mean necessarily that publishing a book or publishing an article. It can be just sharing your text via email, or just posting it in the social media like Facebook or Twitter or some other media, right? So that way, I've been doing this. And when I explained all these points, then the teachers, they gradually convinced with me that we need to do something. In Palpa, there was a very brilliant English teacher, Gunjeshwari Bashal, and when we take his class, we could easily pass the exam. Just listening him, everyone can pass the exam. But he continued teaching till 75, and at 75 he died. But there was no cheat, not even a single piece of writing, right? Just oral, just verbal presentation. And Gunjeshwari, I know, as my guru, I know what Gunjeshwari was, but the other new generations don't know who he was. So that sort of story makes the teachers realize that yes, I need to write something, right? So that sort of motivation, this list could give that sort of motivation. And now look, so at secondary level, the students have to write a lot of biography. And in one class, I just told my teachers that, okay, so this gentleman, this is Rajesh Ramal, one of the most popular celebrity film actor in Nepal. Everybody likes him, I guess. And I told the teachers that, okay, so our closing session will be addressed by this popular celebrity, Rajesh Ramal, and he has also promised me to answer some of our queries. So you need to write down the questions, whatever you want to ask to Rajesh Amal. Just write down the questions. I assigned this task to each and every teacher, and I allocated 10 minutes, and they prepared some 15, 16, 20 questions. Then I paired them. And then I told them that, okay, so the partner, the pair partner is your Rajesh, right? So you go somewhere outside, somewhere in the hall, anywhere, and then you two sit together, and you are Raja Samal for each other. And whatever questions you have prepared, just make some note, right? Just take interview like a journalist, and then make some note. And then later on, those notes, they were put in certain chunks, right, according to the format of writing biography. And then that information was produced in a biography, right? So once in Dang, what happened, you see, I just said that Raja Samal was coming, and just the airplane flew. Then I told them that, oh no, I'm sorry, Raja Samal went back to Kathmandu. And then one of the teachers nearly punched me, right? She was so anxious. She was so crazy to meet Raja Samal, right? So that sort of, sometimes we can create some kind of funny environment so that they are more interested in our assignment, right? So
Sir,
this way,
sorry,
one,
just five. Yeah, you have 5 minutes. Sorry, just to let
okay.
you know. Yeah.
So then I started some pre-writing activities like this brainstorming. Everyone, you can see that. And another activity, this clustering after that, this Ishikawa diagram. So this branching and putting the similar ideas together. Those ideas received from that brainstorming. And another third activity I did, pre-writing activity, was questioning, right? So just for example, writing a project report. So this kind of questions will help the learners to explore the ideas. That's why I asked them what sort of questions can design. The following question, the other questions, they are designed by teachers. The first six questions I gave them, and the second other questions that teachers designed that. And after that, another free writing activity was free write. So everybody practiced that. I gave them 5 minutes time, and without stopping their pen and paper, they continued that, continued writing. And after this is another idea that sometimes what happens, writers get blocked, right? They don't have any idea. And again, this questioning helps them. And we did that. We practiced this questioning also. And another idea of getting idea is that the teacher provides some statements, and any one or two statement can trigger the students or teachers to get more ideas. So we did that in our classroom. And also you can see the teachers are chatting here, right? You can see the conversation there, right? So I gave some prompts here and assigned them to chat each other. And just chatting in mobile or mobile also help them to practice some writing, right? Another pre-writing activity. And then I supported them with the general format of writing this thesis statement, topic statement. And you can see the thesis statement practiced by the learners, right? And this sort of format was provided. And later on, this generalization, these vocabulary cues, right? All these things were provided in between, right? So that they corrected their writing using these cues again. And next I assigned them to write a paragraph, and they had opportunity to choose any one of the topics given. And they wrote the drafts you can see here. And those drafts were uh, again checked by that peers with the help of these questions. The editor's checklist questions were provided. I gave them these questions, and then they checked the text on the basis of those questions. So this way, the peer check took place. And finally, I also assigned them to follow some digital tools. This last one, write and improve. So this gives a very beautiful idea to improve writing, and these other digital tools are also very much useful for improving writing. And then this is the final product. And while after doing all these things, so I decided myself to set the deadline of writing, right? And then try writing with the outlines, that thesis statement, topic sentences. So this kind of format, that outlines using vocabulary cues, all these things I wanted to follow them in the future as well. And then lead the learners throughout major stages. And this publishing, sharing write-ups is another important what way of motivating learners. And two more ideas. One, this the scholars at this book talk we are practicing here in Palpa. So we sit together, some 4, 5, 6 teachers, and then one presents for 20 minutes. And there is another 20 minutes for question, answer, and comment session, and another teacher presents. So we sit almost 2 hours every month. And this last, the righteous net, this is my thinking that let's make a kind of network of writers and set a specific period of time to produce some text and then share that text in the in that writer's net. So this way, my presentation uh, is at the end. So thank you so much for this time, patience, and okay, sir. So I finished my presentation. Thank
Thanks a
you.
lot, Gopal sir, for very much impressive work that you have done and you have presented right now. And at the same time, thanks a lot for keeping track of time so properly as well. It's so within 20 minutes. So yeah, at first there are a lot of takeaways. I think our, let's say, colleagues have found one thing that I found is I have found like teachers have learned like more in being in a loop. It's like a loop input. So I think the strategy which you have shown here for developing writing within teachers can be transposed, or let's say it can be transferred to the student setting as well. So it's useful for all of us, like once we start teaching writing skill to our students. Then now my query is, I'm interested in, for example, when you mentioned writing biography and making next partner assume like he or she is one of the prominent figure, right? So that person needs to know the details of who he or she is assuming, right? For that, what did you do? Did they research or did they do anything?
Yeah. So just that question. This renowned person is just for arousing their interest and also motivating them, and also encouraging them to write down the questions, right, to explore more information, right? So maybe it may be Rajesh Amal or Mahatma Gandhi or anybody else, and finally they can write the biography based on those information. So there is no point in selecting any celebrity other than just arousing interest only. That's
Yeah,
just a thing. Yeah.
thanks for clarifying. But I think I don't know whether you addressed my question. So
Yeah.
I mean the latter one. Sorry, I mean the latter, which I said. For example, the partner who
Yeah.
needs to be the prominent figure, right? Either Rajesh Amal or either Mahatma Gandhi or whoever else.
Yeah.
So he has to tell the details about the person, right? I think like he or she needs to research a little bit too. Is that?
Yeah, that can be added, but till now I'm just asking them to put some sort of imaginary data, for example, date of birth, education, something they know, or they can visit that YouTube and then find some more information about Rajesh Samalia. So that can be added.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank
And
you, Chagan, for
yeah,
presentation. Yeah.
yeah, Gopal sir, and yeah, it's really impressive. I mean, you have done so many tasks so properly, which can be replicated in our own context as well. I think our colleagues would say. Before I, open the floor to all, a writer's net, which is really a wonderful concept, like which you mentioned, sitting together, you know, in a specific time period, and later, you know, producing you know, producing some good text, which is really, really wonderful idea. I think our colleagues would yeah, join as well if one of the team members, probably you yourself, would, you know, begin with. So now let me, yeah, say the floor is open. So please, you can ask questions to our first presenter today. Anyone, or you can also have some questions in the chat box so that one of our colleagues will track them and then ask him. Any questions? You can unmute yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're all present. Yeah, sorry.
I can. If nobody's asking
right,
any questions.
if I may. Sorry.
Yeah, after Amin.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Many
Ramsar,
thanks.
sorry. Sorry, is that okay? Plus Amin and then Ramsar, because Amin has a question, I think.
Oh, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
No,
Yeah.
I don't have a question. I was just, yeah, it was a wonderful presentation. And I was particularly happy to learn about this monthly 2-hour get together of all the writers. This is all, even big writers, poets and all, they have this type of sessions, weekly or monthly or fortnightly meetings where they each present their work to the others and others comment. So this is a, I think, very good thing you have initiated, and I think it should go on, and it will do a lot of good. People, one day people can write poetry, one day they can write just stories or mixture of all these things. So anyway, that was not a question. This was just my comment. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Amin. Now, Ramsar.
Yeah. Thank you, Bashal sir. It's a fascinating story. I was very fascinated by the way you have told this story and some of the things that you have been doing, particularly some of the things that goes on in the pre-writing stages, also the peer feedback stages, because these are some of the things we practice here as well. And these we think are really the very important stages, because at the pre-writing stages, remember, as you mentioned, that students probably start the process with nothing in their mind. Yes. And they have to have something to start with. So how do they have something? And that's an important process. That's an important part of the total writing process. So I was fascinated by some things that you've said there. I was fascinated also by the feedback thing that you presented. Remember, peer feedback is very, very important. Most of the time, it's a teacher giving them the feedback. And most of the teachers' feedback is very punitive. So they will say, okay, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is not complete, this is not right. And the students don't take much from the teacher feedback. So remember, there is a saying in English, students learn more from their peers than from their teachers. And that's what happens at this stage. So I was quite fascinated by this one too. I also like the idea of networking, which I think Amin sir already pointed out, the meeting together, getting together, and, maybe face-to-face or whatever means. But they are networking, and networking is quite important in the whole process. The two queries that I have, I think I don't want to keep talking about every good thing that you have said, because that will take the whole of the 10 minutes. So I will keep it short and ask two questions. Remember, you said that they publish.
Yeah.
And I wasn't quite sure where are their write-ups published. the second question, and probably that will relate to the first one also. The use of ICT, is it, I'm not sure what stage you said ICT was involved or engaged or used. Is it possible, or have you tried using it right from the very beginning? Because remember, there are the softwares for helping them brainstorm. So
Yeah.
probably they can start from there. So I wasn't quite clear. Maybe you said it, but I may have missed it. Basel, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. My all my presentation and my competency, whatever I have, that it's because of some gurus like you, and I'm very much grateful to you, sir. First of all, and then yes, sir. That ICT I used only twice. So once in the very beginning, for example, this exploring ideas. And another big challenge I found that even the teachers, it is very difficult to motivate them to write. So today, the whole day, all this took 3 sessions the whole day, 4 hours, 30 minutes time. And then today is writing. So it's very complex, difficult, boring. That's sort of like mathematics and writing.
Yeah,
They have
yeah.
similar sort of expressions or reactions. And to motivate them, I think this kind of chatting simply, as if they are just chatting in the mobile phone, but at the same time they are doing some writing practice. So this kind of just to make them interested, interest, or to arouse their interest in writing. Once I did this, and finally I did that to that's just I could share only. I
Mm,
couldn't do much practice. I could share
mm,
the idea that the web tools, these writing web tools, are very much useful for that checking or even developing, improving writing. Yes, also there are so many ideas from brainstorming to final drafts. But these are mainly these activities were handwritten activities, except
mm.
this one, this model chatting, and other activities. It's their own products.
Mm.
Thank you, Gopal
Thank
sir,
you. Thank you.
for
Yeah.
answering the
Shall I
questions.
just make a
Now,
quick comment?
yeah, and then after that, Said, because you have raised your hand, I have seen, and your turn. Even if, like, our time is, yeah, it seems over, but yeah, we'll take question from Said later. Saraswati ma'am, please.
Yeah, I mean, based on the discussion here, I think like Ram sir has raised the issue around the feedback, and also Gopal sir, you are talking about the motivation. In my observation, like because we are writing in English, which is not our first language. So in my observation, like many students, like they are discouraged from writing because they have a kind of fear of committing errors, and or maybe getting negative response from their friends or teachers. So I'm just wondering whether you have considered around that, like if say
Yeah.
like if they commit some errors, how do you handle that? Will you just identify the errors or point out, or maybe I mean that part also might have discouraged them from writing. So Gopal
Yeah.
sir, have you considered that kind of issues?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. I had to spend a lot of my strength to convince them to write that a thesis statement, right? So everyone was defining, right? So
Mm,
in the thesis statement, I think out of 50, I tried this into with 2 groups of 25. Maybe 45, almost 45 people, teachers, were just defining ICT. ICT stands for information communication technology type of thing in the thesis statement, right? So, and again, that the connectives, very big challenge, and those frequency, sort of vocabulary, so very big challenge. So they have a limited number of another. I pointed out them that this beaver So there is type of thing is R type of thing. So better not use them much. So I insisted on that, but they were time and again using the same. So this kind of problem I got across, but tried my best, and finally a few final products have what thesis statement with some sort of theorizing of main ideas. So finally, I could convince some of them, or some of them could learn, but still there is challenge.
It's
Yeah,
thank
if we want to encourage them, my understanding is that maybe we should make them feel that if they make mistake, that's fine, because this is not our first language. So if we focus more on, like errors, grammatical errors or structures or the organization, so they might feel discouraged from writing. So maybe we have to consider around that as well, like make them feel that, okay, making mistakes is fine, we can improve that later, but please um, start writing, please write and think critically, write as much as you can. So errors, don't worry about your errors. So something like that, if we encourage them in that way, maybe they might be encouraged more. I don't know, like I'm just sharing my own
Yeah, yeah,
experience of teaching. Yeah.
yeah, agreed with you, ma'am. So first thing is encouraging them to write
Yeah.
something. And when they start writing, and then again
Yeah.
making it accurate, yeah. So
you.
yeah, we can go that. Yes.
Yes,
Agreed.
thank you. Thank you, Saraswati man. And thanks. Yeah, now we'll take Syed's question. Syed,
Yeah.
or
Hello,
sorry if I
hello, sir.
mispronounce your name. Yeah.
No, no, it's okay. Said Shaheen. Thank you, sir. This is Said Shaheen from Bangladesh, and I'm a member of Adda English program of Amin Rahman Bhaiya. So I'm very happy to be here with you. I was listening to your presentation. So, sir, Gopal sir, hello.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
agreed.
sir, you're really doing an excellent job. You're encouraging your students to write more, to be free in writing. So that's really wonderful. So we don't see that kind of this kind of program that much in our institutions. So my question is, there are so many aspiring writers. So if someone wants to join your program, that means like by national program. So if you're arranging something, if I want to attend your program, or my students, okay, I am a teacher of a school. So if they want to join your program, okay, so if there any opportunity to participate. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so we can do that despite of limitations of this internet, this digital ICT sort of thing, right? In terms of access and in terms of the quality, despite of all these limitations, we can extend our practices with all these two countries, right? So, so I'll be happy to be in touch and then do something in collaboration. So it's okay, we can do that.
Yeah, excellent idea. Excellent.
Thank you,
Okay,
Gopal sir.
thank you.
This is the objective of this program as well, like making you collaborate and network together.
Yes, sir.
You see,
So I will,
Writers Net, which I indicated as well, probably can be the step to think of, or Gopal sir can initiate, and then you people can collaborate. Syed, you wanted to say something?
yeah. Thank you, sir, for your reply. And okay, I already took your screenshot of your email address. So, sir, I will communicate with you, and okay, waiting for that moment. I will
Yeah,
tell my
yeah,
students about this excellent program of you.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank
Thank
definitely.
you.
Sir. I'll write it in the chat box.
Yes.
So
Thanks.
thank you everybody for your patient listening, and then compliments on this discussion session as well. Thank you so much once again.
Okay, thanks, Gopal sir. We went little over time, but I think that's okay because it was really fascinating presentation. I just borrowed the word of Ram sir. It's really fascinating. So now, then my final comment, like as Saraswati ma'am was indicating writer's block, probably it's good to say like every writer has a writer block. and just we need to keep on writing, because I learned this from Richa Bhattrai, who is the one of the writers from Nepal as well. When I invited her to present her work to my students once I was a teacher in school, she told like, okay, we all have writer's block, and just we need to take, like, writing is difficult, just keep on writing, practicing. So if we encourage that way, probably that's also one of the ways to motivate. With this note, now I would like to invite second presenter of today's session. She is Viva Jha. Let me quickly introduce her. Viva Jha has spent she's also from Nepal, so she kindly accepted to present today, even though her schedule to present is in the third session, as Saraswati Ma'am mentioned in the very beginning. So Viva Jha has spent more than 1 decade in English language teaching. She's pursuing MPhil ELE, English Language Education, I think, at Kathmandu University. She's a life member of NELTA, Nepal English Language Teachers Association, and an editorial member of NELTA ELT Forum, which is the official EZIN of NELTA. She has presented her papers at in different conferences in Nepal, and attended many national and international webinars and conferences. She completed AEE teacher course, that is professional development for teacher trainers, offered by US Embassy. She has participated in an online course developing an online teaching program offered by TESOL International and National Geographic's LTEC. So now, without further ado, so I would like to invite Viva Jha for your presentation. You can share your screen and start.
Thank you, Sagun sir.
And yeah, before
Thank you
that,
so much.
I would like to request Saraswati Dawadi ma'am to chair this session. Thank you.
Thank you.
So can I share now?
Of course, thank you. We can share a screen.
Is it okay?
Yes, we can begin.
So first of all, namaste everyone, and good afternoon. I'm going to share my story through the learning by doing, and I'm really very happy to share my story, my experience in front of you. Maybe it may be useful for you, and definitely it is very delightful for me. And this story, my story, is dedicated to all my amazing students. Because of them, I am here, and I'll be somewhere. And the people who directly or indirectly helped me. So my experience move around this, how I feel like being a teacher, and how I will be history maker, change maker, and then after I'll move toward language fair, how I conducted. Better I say we conducted, because I and my students conducted, and definitely learners' opinion, if there will be, then I will include, otherwise not. So being a teacher, whatever I'm talking here, that is in the context of Nepal, especially in my village, local place, that is Bilta Morzhapa. I'm staying here. So being a teacher, it is just supposed by institution that teachers should be always happy, satisfied, tolerant, whatever condition provided there. Okay, and my class was generally, even not in my institution, even in local scenario, there are large classes, and number 25 to 45 also, 40 also I have kept here, just general number 25 to 40. And we need to handle the students with limited resources. Whatever resources we have, that we need to live, and definitely workload is very much high, because schools maximum works come to at your home, and it happened to me also. I'm not extraordinary. So many works of schools, I have to prepare, I have to be ready, for the school at my home. And I'm very lucky because my students are from different background, social, cultural background, economical background, different economical background. And I'm in the sense of lucky because they have multiple interests and they have multiple intelligence also. And those all things I need to think, being a teacher, to how to explore them. So I told you that whatever I'm telling here, that moves around me. So I feel that I'm a history maker also. I make history for me and I create history for my students. So I'm working in present to make my students' future. And gradually, as my age passed, gradually I convert into myself past. And definitely for my loving students, one day I'll be totally history. Can you tell? Can you tell that your teacher? Can you rename all the teachers whom you knew? Class one? Anyone? Definitely, most of you not, isn't it? So this is the life of teacher. They all became history, and teachers always work hard. Even I also. So I feel that I am change maker also. Being a trained is not enough for teacher. Being trained is one thing, and make your students competent through the training is another thing. Understanding the curriculum is one thing, but application of curriculum with my students is another thing. So being interested to change and make change should be quality of teacher, which I applied in my life. That's why I love to be listener and I love to be a speaker because I need to be a leader, caretaker, and transformer. So see, keeping those things in mind, once I discuss with my children, students, lovely students, so I discuss with them what to do. Because generally in class, I stood in front of the class, I lectured them, they listened. Sometimes they they didn't listen, though they saw that they are very attentive, so that they were very attentive students, very disciplined students. But result is not as I desired. So I discussed one day that what to do. I also thought, my students also thought. Then what happened? I came into the point that why not we organize language fair? That was very new idea, innovative idea in my context. So my students were very happy. I talked with principal, and definitely he also supported me in regard this. Even my institution also supported. My institution convinced me that whatever materials needed, they would provide. And my students made this is not just posters. These are the books, biography. They are written. These are the books of the writer. So they were very, very happy because they were choosing. They were bringing the ideas. They were choosing the topic. They were writing everything in English. See, they were prepared. This is the story, pictorial story. So my motto to make them competent in communication. So during the making those projects, materials for those projects, after the making that materials, they need to exhibit. And when they exhibited, definitely they need to talk, because without talking, without replying, who is going to understand, isn't it? So they have to speak. So in this way, they were correcting themselves. They were speaking, and so see some glimpses. So by this, just making good guesses, they made good guesses. They communicate many ways. Sometimes they ask, sometimes they explain, sometimes they say. They tolerate mistakes. they refine mistakes, they paid attention, communication, they practice regularly. So by doing this, actually at that time, I didn't know this idea, characteristics of good language learner, which Rubin already said, claimed. But indirectly, I thought that now I am thinking that that was matching with these all the characteristics. Learning is not just speaking. Learning communication doesn't mean that just speaking. It is a social process also. So see, there is the organized language fair they have done, and they just communicate. They giving description, explanation, whatever the students were asking. So this is very good idea in the sense that at that time I just needed to facilitate them. I just needed to guide them, and they were very happy. And there was not distinguished that talented student, poor student, average student. Whatever they have intelligence, whatever they have creativity, they got the chance to explore them, and that made me very happy. Even some students made videos like expert, which I'm not going to show you because I have not that access now, but they made that, and that was very innovative idea. So active learning, language fair always gives active learning, and that happened to my students also. I felt that moment that they were feeling interest in learning, collaboration, and they started to do multiple activities to show multiple intelligence through the English language. And why? Because there is no bondage. There was no limitations. So they feel free to learn. They felt free to learn from their friends and teachers. And most important thing that I told them to write or to make anything, any subject, just in English. If you speak science in English, then what happened? Definitely, you explore, you learn communication in English. Nothing will happen. So I told them, and they brought their multiple subjects related to science, math, social, every subject, but they have to write in English. So in this way, not only communication, their writing also became fine. And they were so clever that they used technology. Even many ideas which I didn't know, they brought to me, and they made. This picture they made by their hand. And this is not only picture. I told you that this is biography, just like books. This also they made by hand. Everything made by themselves. And these are the books. And what I told them, that the group make like this, and then after another group will read, and they will find out where is the mistakes, errors. So in this way, multiple students, many students come to know about that subject matter. And not only this, you know that teenagers always like to comment on especially friends' work. They love to comment. So in this sense, they went line by line, and it really helped. And all of us know sharing is caring. So still they remember those struggles, those achievements, which motivate them to do, which they did at that time. And even in future, anybody ask them, definitely they will explain each and everything. As well as they feel very happy to do, share with their friends, seniors, juniors. So through the language fair, I helped my students as I feel. This is my story, very short story. Anyway, thank you all of you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Viva Madam, for your wonderful story. So I think I have two observations here. The first one is around your own transformation. I can see that during your presentation, I could sense that you have learned a lot being a teacher. And my understanding is that you have tried hard to transform yourself. And I can see that you have faced several challenges, but still you are trying your best to maybe to make a good or to make a new history of yourself and of your students. So I truly appreciate the your hard work. And also like about the language fair, in my understanding, I think it is relatively a new concept. To be honest with you, like for me, I came to know about this term language fair when I was in an international conference in the UK in 2012. And that time, like I was in a language fair that, they were making a kind of presentation, and I was very much impressed by, that kind of that presentation. And now I'm glad to know that you are you are organizing language fair to develop the language skills of your students. I in my understanding, like language fairs, it produces a kind of good opportunities for students to practice their skills, all the 4 language skills. So your students may have very good opportunities to practice their skills. As you said, learning is a social process, and I think like if we organize language fairs, then the students will get an opportunity to to learn from their friends, to learn from other people. So I think that's a very good idea. I have just one query or question. I can understand that you might have faced several challenges to organize language fairs because your students may not have a good, practice of speaking with other people or maybe writing. So what kind of challenges did you face when you were organizing language fair? Viva, madam?
Actually, I love to say you that not challenges, opportunities.
Okay.
Actually, students in local basis, we have so many problems, technological problems, infrastructure problem on the basis of modern facilities. So we have access of just paper, color, and the cheap materials
Mm-hmm.
and local materials. So students made those things. Even institution also cannot afford costly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Even internet also now after COVID or during COVID only, especially in Tarai area, academic institution started to give internet to the teachers. Before that, not. We have to manage everything our own, either students or teachers. Though the works related to institution. So these are the challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Another is what that timing for the teacher workload. These are the challenges. For the students, assignment challenges because there is not extra time to prepare these things. You don't think that I got extra time. Not. Students did all the things on their own time by their own. Just there, I just worked there like a motivator, and just I gave their sometimes polished their idea, sometimes they polished my idea, but just we worked together. Thank you, ma'am. I hope that
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes, definitely. We as a teachers, we can learn a lot from our students. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Now, yes, the floor is open for the discussion. Yeah, please.
Saraswati ma'am, Amin has raised his hand, so probably.
Yes, yeah, please.
Thank you very much indeed. I found a teacher who's a loving teacher. The students love them and the teacher loves the students. That's one thing. My question is about your fair. How long does a language fair last and how many people attend the language fair?
the students of that school and teachers of that school only.
So number?
They attended about 500.
And how long does it last? 1 day, 2 day, or a week, or
Actually,
what?
one day for
Day.
2 hours we kept. For 2 hours we kept because this exhibition happened only in the school. And that time, actually, I did not take any snaps. That these snaps I just collected because that time I didn't know that success story will will be in future.
Yeah,
So that
anyway.
randomly I collected and that I used here.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any other question, please? If you have.
There are some participants who have raised hand.
I can't see actually. I don't know what's the problem
Really?
here.
Sahin,
Yeah, please.
Mohammed,
Yeah.
Mohammed Sahin, I guess. Reza, Mohammed Sahin, Reza, is that?
Hello, hello. Yes, this is Shahin Reza. I am a teacher. I teach English language. I'm from Bangladesh. Well, this idea ma'am has presented is absolutely stunning. I'm thinking of taking this idea and introducing this new idea at my school when the COVID goes away. Oh, I don't know, and we don't know when this COVID will go away. Okay, one question that I want to ask the ma'am is that can we open all the subject for the students in language fair that they can write anything, maybe on science, history, or any subject they study in their academic life?
Thank you, Mr. Reza. So, in my opinion, communication doesn't mean that you need to communicate only literature. Communication is needed for all subjects. Even science also need communication. And if you speak in English, how can you say that it is not related to English language? Isn't it? So, just to develop the communication, in my opinion, there should not be barrier because they are learning. Some students love social science, some students love science, sometimes some students love math, then literature, English literature. If they explain those ideas in English, I think that obviously they will learn English language because this is just what you say that very, very close relation between English language and other subject, in my opinion. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yes. Any other, please? If you have any question, any queries, any comments.
If no one has question, then I have a comment.
Yeah, please.
It's a great job, Vivajaji. So just a comment is which I have dropped in chat box as well. I think if we, because I remember when I was teaching in one of the schools, we too had conducted similar language and literature. We have said literature fair as well, language and literature fair. So if we invite school heads as well, like, to watch their products, whatever they have done, their compliments and their, or their comments can always inspire them to get engaged in that activity, right? So probably that can be taken into account when we organize. Probably you have done, but I'm also talking for the, all our colleagues as well if we organize. So always the compliments and comments from all kinds of audience can be really helpful. Thank you. That's
Yes,
it. But it's a wonderful job, Vivaja ma'am. So I'm really, I got, it can be again transferred and replicated in other settings as well. Thank you.
Can I
Thank you, sir.
give a quick comment and a quick query?
Yes,
if you
please.
like?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thanks. Right. Again, Vivaja ma'am, I was listening to your story quite keenly, and I liked quite a few things. First of all, the idea of teacher being a transformer,
Yeah.
and then a history maker.
Hmm.
But most of all, a change agent. And I believe that you are truly a change agent because you are trying to make learning happen against all the odds. So yeah, I don't want to go into the details, all the odds that you have described. I think we are all very well familiar with that. And against all the odds, you are making learning happen. And yeah, that's, you know, I personally quite appreciate you for that. There is an expression, I think this is one of the slogan of one of the sporting manufacturer, just do it. And that's what you said. In order to learn English, just do it. You learn by doing it. So if you don't do it, you don't learn. And do it wherever possible, whether it is, you know, in a socialization process or in a language pair or wherever. So I think that that's again a very brilliant idea. And of course, you have talked about using technology to create creativity or motivation for that. So yeah, look, I think uh, few snaps of your language pair ideas would have been better. But again, just by listening to you, we, as Mr. Reja said, yeah, we are quite inspired, and I'm sure there will be much more interest in your story in this forum. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Your inspirational words.
Thank you.
Yeah, and yeah, thank you very much. So maybe if we don't have any other questions, maybe we can move to the next presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Over to you, Saifa.
Okay, thank you very much, madam. So this is time for us to start the third presentation of the day. And now our presenters are Deepak Prasad Mishra and Surendra Prasad Bhatta. I would like to welcome both the presenters. Mr. Surendra Prasad Bhatta is a research scholar in the School of Education of Kathmandu University. He is the head of the Department of English at Charles Darwin Academy. He is also a life member of Nepal English Language Teachers Association, NELTA. Mr. Bhatta is an executive member of Geolinguistics Society of Nepal. On the other hand, Mr. Deepak Prasad Mishra is a research scholar in the School of Education of Kathmandu University. He is the head of the Department of English at Valley View English School. He is also a life member of Nepal English Language Teachers Association, NELTA. So I would like to invite Mr. Bhatta and Mr. Mishra to start their presentation. But before that, I would like to request Ram sir to chair the session.
Thank you.
Namaste, good afternoon. We are both given 20 minutes or total 20 minutes, sir?
Total 20 minutes, please.
Okay, thank you. Better to start. Deepakji, you first.
Namaste to everyone. Good afternoon as well from Nepal. Let me share my screen. I think it's visible. So,
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
it is.
So, let me start my presentation with one thought. Success is not failure. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. So it is ongoing process. So we have to try our best, though we are in difficult situation. So my academic journey commenced from the just far western part of Nepal. I grew up over there in Himalayan side, and then I just got school education from there. After school education, I descended in urban area for higher education. So it was very difficult for me to be just adjusted with new environment. I didn't have that sound English over there in village. Later, I tried my best, and after 2 years, I commenced a teaching career after appearing class 12 examination. And during that time, I used to share stories with my students, which I used to listen from my parents and grandparents. And each and every students were used to be very happy and keen interested to listen my story. And then they used to next day they used to show me the story to me, and then they used to tell in the classroom as well as in assembly too. And we focused that sort of things, that ancient myth among the students, that may be ghost story, that may be a very horror story. Every students, very children were very passionate to listen that. As we know that story is not just a story, it is in our blood. It is linked with us in real life. So every day I invested 10 minutes in creative work to make my students creative. So after a long time, just I during this COVID, I with the I along with one college conducted creative writing workshop. So that is just facilitated by the British Council as well. We got the facilitator from there, and it was great moment for me and for my school as well. So we organized uh, that workshop, and a facilitator helped me, and I also tried my best to facilitate students. And 3-day workshop, students learned the new way of writing stories. And earlier we used to write stories beginning with once upon a time, and later my students wrote story using dialogue or some other things as well. So that had given me one different interest. And later, after 3 days, we again organized one storytelling competition. Again, collaborated with British Council, and my students, around 150 students, they developed different plots, and that was very interesting for me and difficult as well. It's very difficult to evaluate all of them. I tried my best, and then I was motivated and then felt proud reading the wonderful stories like some topics I have brought here: Destined to Be Together, Hope, I Promise Not to Cry, Mysterious Girl. And I selected top 10 stories. And then I sent those top 10 stories to next evaluator. And then around 5 teachers, they evaluated top 10 stories, and then they selected 4 stories from there as well. And then they were just awarded with certificate and some just cash prize as well as some scholarships too. And then I again thought next just campaign agenda, I try to publish those story, and then I just that is in editing process nowadays. I have been editing all the stories, so I'm trying to publish these stories in one storybook. And then so 5 students were awarded with just scholarship for higher education in one college. And then later and then I have promised that I will publish, and then I will disseminate those stories to my each and every students too. So my students had developed confidence and motivation to tell the tale in the big mass. Earlier they were hesitant and they used to feel shyness, but nowadays each and every student, those who were participated in creative writing workshop, they are confident to share the stories in assembly or in class or in big mass as well. So I got the help from next organization, Canopy Nepal. So with the collaboration that I have been working, so it is the team. This program or organization is the team of visionary youths, youngsters are over there, and then they always unleash new innovative ideas to foster creativity among the students. And then they just develop the concept of leadership development, diversity, and inclusion as well. We work in collaboration with us very creative people and some other teachers as well. So students are really doing their best in creating the stories and poems, so on. And they have been writing about their real life experiences as well. This has given me uh, again new experience too. And then they, not only that, my students have just promoted their intercultural understanding among the diverse groups. As we know that in Kathmandu, the different sort of ethnic groups have been residing, and then in class, as we know that class is the miniature society, so there are different cultural background, so students they have understanding among them, so they develop their understanding, and then my students write and paste on the walls, and then they create their just creations themselves, and they are competent and passionate to learn more. And then just next I have just we have been doing that next project, that is Katha Bunauna. So this is also mean that students just bring the stories, and then they share in class among the in front of the teachers, and then they create their story on, like my real heroine in my life. That here a hero, this heroine may not be just actress or celebrity, that may be his or her mother, that may be his or her sisters, or someone else, that may be teachers. My real heroine, they create like that, they create. So we have kept this name Katha Bunauna. Again, just I got help from Monal Bhattrai. So we have been doing collaboratively to just make it possible. So my students just they have written different stories, and then they got awarded as well. So they were very happy to create these stories as well. And then some of my students were awarded too. I have to say thank you so much.
Wow, it's a great. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Is that the end of the presentation for Surendraji? Do you?
Yeah, no, sir. I have to share.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think
Yeah, that's
okay. We will go post presentation, then only discussion. Yes, ma'am.
No, you can continue and
No, you can continue. You as a group. Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
because
thank
you
you
are
very much.
co-presenting. Yes, please.
okay. Yeah, time-wise, I think we have about Sagunji 10 minutes.
should be, yeah.
Yeah.
Let me check, and I'll let everyone know, and him as well.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Good afternoon from Kathmandu. I'm Surendra Bhatta. I'm sharing my past experience regarding the creative writing and what I'm practicing here these days. So I'll be sharing this. To make it short, let's start. Regarding the creativity, there is a beautiful quote. Creativity is dancing above the surface of the world. It means we go beyond our realities. We make some imaginations. We help our mind, or we support our mind to think about the beyond realities also sometimes. Okay, so this is creativity. Creative minds are really a precious mind. Okay, in this talk, I will be talking about my past. Okay, I will reflect my past and present the what are the practices that I'm doing in the present. So okay, about me, I was born in remote part of Nepal, that is Radedura, and I completed SSC from there. And when I was in school level, I was keen interested in this creative writing. And in creative, the interest of creative writing led me to the success in one of the poem writing competition. When I was in school level, I got second position in district level poem competition. So later, I moved to I when I was in school level, I used to think that creative writing build means it is for me to build the confidence, and similarly to make my expression so artistically. So I was supposed to know presenting ideas with a artistic viewpoint. Okay. Similarly, boosting imagination, to boost my imagination. Also, I used to write creative writings. Okay, to clarify my thoughts, to develop my communication skill, and finally, most importantly, creative. I took my creative writing for my better mental and physical health. I used to sukoon. I used to get the sukoon means the relaxation when I used to write and read the creative writing. So then I went to Kanchanpur, where I didn't get much encouragement in academic means creative writing. So then in masters and MPhil level as well, I didn't get that much focus on creative writing. Academic writing only was focused. And from these reflections, what I found is creative writing was not, if given, that is only in school level, but in not higher levels. Okay, and in this higher levels or in school levels, mostly passing exam by writing answers are more valued than the uh, than writing creatively. So there people used to say in my school level, कथा कविता लेखेर के गर्छस् गणित साइन्स पढ ठुलो मान्छे भन्छस्. It means there is no career in creative writing poems, writing stories that will not pay you a lot to survive in the future. But if you study science and mathematics, you will get a bright future. Earlier, my ancestors, let's say elders, used to say this, but actually, creative writing is more than their view. So I started teaching in nursery. First, I started teaching in nursery class when I completed my +2 level. Then I started lower secondary level in same Kanchanpur, and then I came to Kathmandu for masters. And there I found I just got chance to teach in one of the school for 3 months only. That was trial period, or it's a kind of substitution. But later on, their work, the dedication and work, for that they chose me as a coordinator. They gave me the leadership there. And then currently I'm working the same school with the head of the part and English teacher. So what I found regarding the creative writing, I was hired there for developing writing also. You know, they have more expectation from me. And when I came to that school, I just go back to the history. And earlier there used to be part-time teachers. They used to teach only 40 minutes and they went. They used to give focus on only the content to finish for their examination. The means teacher used to give focus on giving finishing those lessons and finishing those lessons and all the text only given in the book, which really focuses on or prepare student for the examination, not for their creative writing. What I found is even school administration also given less priority to the creative writing. They focus only on memorization. Okay, and then parents, from the parents side also, they do not love for the creative writing, rather they love in position, how to get high position, giving good results, okay, good marks, and good ranks in school, not creative minds. And later on, what happens is creative tasks are not given as a home assignments, or sometimes homework also, not creative, right? Just to finish that chapter after reading the text, like this kind of, even they are not given earlier the home assignments like speaking. So my story, it may not be similar in other schools. What I found when I entered in that this school, and means domination of digital media. It means that the texts were delivered by using PowerPoints and other videos, where students are. I say this is misused because students are not encouraged to be creative. Just they have to listen and finish the text. Okay, it was the situation, and there was less motivation. There was less motivation in school. So
Suren,
yes,
you have nearly 2 to 3 minutes, so please, yeah, take care.
thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, like engagement. Okay, there is no motivation. So earlier I found the student were with lack of basic knowledge of these literary devices also, and they were not in habit of writing daily activities. Then what I did is, first of all, I introduced these some books in along with the academic subjects. Okay, some books regarding the poem. Okay, some are fantasy also. Some are from Nepal and some are from out also. Both the things that I introduced in academic with along with academic subject. They have to study this, and then I brought famous stories and poem novel in both of the languages, in Nepali as well as in English. Then what I did is I just started doing the activities related to the newspaper. And newspaper was Kopilai, though it was in Nepali first because the background of the student was poor earlier. So I used to take the help of Kopila first, that is the weekly news in Nepal. Then I encourage them to write the daily writing. Here is one piece of writing, and one day when the boy fought with his mother and he wrote here, whatever. And later on he started writing. And one more thing I did is I respect everyone's writing because they're at the level of the student, and I encourage all the student to write. And then what I did is I just take the music in classroom. It means that I used to take this Bluetooth in the classroom, and I used to play it, and they used to go in deep concentration. These are the very first days of my my practices. Okay, then I took them to the competition. Still I'm taking them in the competition or inter school, sometimes inter school, sometimes in our own school also we used to make the competitions. Later on I started publishing the wall magazine, both housewives or school boys. So here is one I'm sorry, here is one example. This is second volume with 3 pages. This contains all the creation of the students. When they get published their creation in a wall, they got excited and they feel that, oh yeah, our writings are also encouraged, our writing are also respected, and they are published. Okay, this is digital one we used to publish from the press, and we used to paste in the wall, and they are given more motivation and idea. Also finally, this is one of the poem written by my student Vijay Cholagai. This is what the what on a praise of the teacher. So but students creativity depends upon how much we encourage them. So let's encourage, because we are guru for them, and the importance of guru is mentioned in this poem. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Surendraji, and also Deepakji. One thing that brings these two presentations together is the creativity in writing. And I'm glad that these two presentations are together, because they are many things that bring them together. But first, I would like to start with Mishra sir, Deepak Mishra sir. Again, a brilliant presentation, a brilliant initiative. I really loved the way you presented your story. Great snaps, great quotation, and I think that created the context of your storytelling. But the thing that I liked most is the way you kind of developed it. Say, from getting inspiration to creating a story, to telling a story, to writing a story. And you sort of created creative writing a workshop. And that, I think, is a brilliant way of developing creativity in writing. Again, I think through creative writing, again, it was a team building, leadership development, diversity and inclusion. These are really important concepts, and it can only happen when people work together, when people of different cultural backgrounds work together and collaborate. So fascinating story. And again, I appreciate your work, and I'm sure you have already said that it has been published, it has been disseminated. I hope that your stories are told in a bigger platform, so that other schools also learn from it. Deepak Bastola has already shared his opinion that similar things actually happen in many other schools as well. So again, there has to be some kind of networking among schools, and probably in schools across borders with teachers and schools from Bangladesh, to share ideas and to learn from these initiatives. Surendra Bhatta sir, again, I think we probably should have given you more time, but we have our own limitations. But again, you started brilliantly. Again, a great quotation, and again, you talked about how to create a process for creative writing, for promoting or encouraging creative writing in the students, from confidence buildings to helping them express artistically to boost their imaginations and so forth. So brilliantly done. I congratulate both of you. Now I open the floor for question, answer, and discussion. So if anyone has any comments and questions, please put your questions and comments now to the presenters. Any comments and questions to the presenters?
Shall I start?
You mean
Can
you have a
you hear
comment
me?
or question?
Comment and one question maybe.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. I would like to start with Deepak sir's presentation. I really loved it. Yeah, I truly agree with you that yeah, stories can be a good source for learning. And I mean, like I'm not very sure about your culture in Bangladesh, but in Nepal, I guess like we have a kind of story culture. I was brought up in that kind of culture. Like when I was a small child, like I would listen to stories from my mother. Like I think stories were a good source for learning in my case. And yeah, I think it's a very good idea of using stories in our classroom context as well. So I really appreciate that idea. So I enjoyed your presentation, and that's a great idea. And regarding our Deepak sir's presentation, yes, definitely, yes, I enjoyed it very thoroughly. So I like your ideas, the way you are talking about, and then I mean the importance of creative writing. So I can truly understand. So yes, in our context, like usually writing tasks are not included in our homeworks or in our assignments, as you said. And in most of the context, I can understand that our teachers, they usually do not encourage the students to write or to go for creative writing. So but now I'm looking at from assessment practices. Like during my doctoral study also, I was exploring this part. So in our education system, we are mainly focusing on memorization, as you mentioned. So maybe it's because of the impact of our national level exams like SCE. So maybe like Deepak sir, as you are working as the head of an institution, not institution, yeah, as a head of a department, maybe we also have to think about like how we can include creative writing tasks in our assessment practices as well, so that because students are motivated to learn for the test. And if like in my understanding, if like we don't include creative writing tasks in our exams or in our tests or in our assessment practices, maybe they are not encouraged. So maybe we could think about our assessment practices so that students are motivated to develop their creative writing skills as well. So have you, so it's my question is like to Surendra sir again. So have you considered that part, like how to include creative writing tasks in our assessment as well, so that students are motivated? Have you considered that? Thank
Yeah,
you.
ma'am. Yes, sure. What I did is a little bit, not much, not much.
Please continue. Yeah, please go on.
Uh, what I did is, earlier there used to be the activities like, write about Dasai when they used to go back for the vacation about Dasai. No, what I did is write those incidents. Okay, this kind of homework, the creative incidents they have to explore, their daily writing, this kind of activities were given more focus, not only in English subject but also in Nepali subject also. I discussed with them and given not to write the answer only. Sometimes I just encourage them to make the question also. So when you read this story, what kind of questions come to your mind? You just make the list of the questions. Okay, write stories, or sometimes you just ask to your mom or talk to your mom, and whatever she said, okay, why she said so, okay, why the lifestyle was earlier so. This kind of creative questions are to be given for the assignments. And if there is long holidays for this, and don't just give the questions which just are easy to copy from internet or easy to write, which were practiced earlier a lot. This kind of questions are discouraged, and creative questions are encouraged for their assignment as well. And the practice is given there.
Great. Yeah. Any other questions, please? Otherwise, we would, right? No, if there are no questions, would like to move on to the next presentation.
Sir, Ifat has raised hand. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go on.
Thank you for giving me the platform. Like Saraswati ma'am said that Nepal has a culture of telling stories. Even in Bangladesh, in rural areas, we had so many culture of telling stories like Khonar Bochon, Puthi, and from that rural place, we can actually collect our creative writers, and we can actually present in the schools or some uh, bigger platform. So all this initiative from Deepak ji and Surinder sir ji and Bibha ma'am, I'm actually amazed, and actually I'm feeling really grateful to this platform that they are giving us so many ideas, and that we can actually get them and we can actually present them in our secondary level or primary level. And that's it. Thank you so much for giving
Yeah.
this
Great
initiative.
comment.
And like Bibha ma'am said, that we are change maker. We are not just only change maker. Teacher, as we are a teacher, we are also entrepreneur. So yeah, I
Okay.
will definitely do
Great
the same
idea. Great
with
idea.
my
Thank
learners.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Thank you. Any other comments or queries?
Yes, I have a comment, not a question.
Yeah, go on.
This is Sharif. This is Sharif from Bangladesh, one of
Yeah, go on,
Addabaz.
Sarif.
Yes. So this is a wonderful ideas that all the presenters have been sharing in this platform. I liked the language fair idea of Viva ma'am, and I just listened. That is storytelling by Deepak sir, and there is another thing, creative writing process. So what they're doing, this is amazing, because in Bangladesh, usually in divisional level, we find in school levels, like by British councils or other good or traditional schools, they arrange this kind of competition storytelling through English Olympiad, not in other occasion. Through English Olympiad, they arrange these programs, but in district level, we hardly find. So I think we are a bit back or lagging behind in this form. Like, we have to take responsibility to teach creative writing, to approach to the students, to bring out the best. And this idea, all the things are impressed me really. And I'd like to talk to my authority to apply these ideas like language fair in my college. And I would share all the things, what I've learned from this platform, I'd share with all my teachers, colleagues, to apply the storytelling competition inside the classroom, inter-college.
Great idea.
So thank you very much. It would be a great motivation for me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's a great idea, Sharif. Remember, storytelling does not end here at the forum. The idea is to create a forum and networking to share whatever we learn here. and disseminate it. So I appreciate the idea of sharing this, whatever is shared here with colleagues and friends. So great idea, Sari. Well done. Okay, any other comments or questions? Right, I think we are ready for the next session. And next session, remember throughout the presentations, we are talking about, the problem of, getting the students to write, to motivate them to write. And probably one way, and I think very indirectly, the previous presenters have addressed this. Free writing, let them write. Don't limit them in any way. Don't make them conscious of whatever is required. So free from any limitations. Free writing, in other words. Let them do free writing. So to tell us what has been done in pre-writing, we have someone who has been working in this field for a number of years, and I'm very pleased, and it's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sabrina Ahmad, who is an assistant professor at the Department of English and Humanities at Brak University of Bangladesh. She has completed her PhD from Kuliah of Education, International Islamic University, Malaysia. Her research interests are critical thinking skills, social linguistics, stylistics, and teaching English to young learners. And the topic, I think, is very neatly connected with whatever we have done before, fostering critical thinking in pre-writing through focused free writing. So remember, pre-writing and free writing, fostering, I repeat, fostering critical thinking in pre-writing through focused free writing. So without any further ado, over to Dr. Ahmad, Sabrina Ahmad.
Thank you, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
So, and yeah, just one thing, sorry. As our colleague Saifa is chairing the session. So Saifa, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, over to you, Sabrina, ma'am.
I would like to thank all of the members on Nepal side and also in Bangladesh. And Saifa is my junior in my English department, Dhaka University. So I'm very proud of her that she has collaborated and is working with this platform. So thank you for inviting me and selecting the presentation. So my paper's title is Fostering Critical Thinking in Pre-Writing Through Focused Free Writing. This is a published paper with my supervisor, Ratnavati Muhammad Ashraf, and another co-author, Tan Kok In. So I completed my PhD in Malaysia, so both of them are from there. So we collaborated and published this paper in TESOL International Journal in 2018. But what I'm going to present today is partially the preliminary portion of the project. So basically we kind of looked at how focused free writing practice among the students can help them to think critically before writing a full-fledged essay. So let me explain this, how we conducted this study. Now, critical writing actually refers to incorporating a person's academic voice in the writing, and the process of reflecting, researching, or getting information from somewhere, or like valid sources, and then note making. All these processes come under critical writing. But students often have a plenty to say before and after the actual writing of the essay or the assignment. But they do have problem to organize what they are thinking, and they sometimes feel paralyzed, as Southwell terms it, when they kind of start to write on the paper. So when you give a topic to them, say like COVID-19, if you are giving this topic, the students will feel like, okay, what to write about COVID-19? So much of information, which one to pick, which one to, reject. So they have confusion with this. Now, Peter Elbow in 1998 introduced free writing practice. Free writing practice is basically you write for 10 minutes or so without stopping your pen. You cannot lift your pen from the paper and you continue writing. And whatever comes into your mind, you just write. No editing, no checking of grammatical mistakes, you just keep on writing. This helps you to jot down your ideas in the paper, and it brings fluency in your writing. So Peter Elbow is famous for that. Now, students feel very free to do this practice of free writing because the teacher is not looking at the draft. The teacher is not marking it. So they are not conscious about marking or any other comments that teacher will give. So they feel free to write. But one problem with free writing is that when you ask your students to write freely for a bit of time, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, what happens that they kind of start writing personal essays. Whatever they think like a diary, they start writing like that. Now you as a teacher have to kind of steer it from a diary mode to academic writing. That's one problem. Then secondly, the teacher will not be checking the draft free writing. So the accuracy of language, grammar, logical arguments, those are not checked. So whatever the students are writing, fluency is coming in their writing, but these aspects are not being checked. Then Fawcett remarks that free writing is a powerful way of expressing thoughts into writing that sometimes may produce only nonsense. So free writing sometimes produces garbage or nonsense. This is the criticism of free writing that Peter Elbow introduced. And from this criticism came the idea of focused free writing. What is the difference between focused free writing and free writing? Focused free writing is that as a teacher, you give a particular topic or give a particular element, and the students will have to think about only that topic or element and write freely for 10 minutes. So their thoughts are channeled towards one direction. So if you give a topic like COVID-19 and its impact in Bangladesh, they will think only about COVID-19 and whatever is associated with COVID-19, but their thoughts will not go haywire to everywhere as they do in free writing. So it helps them to kind of get ideas on the selected topic, and then later on they can refine these keywords and whatever ideas they are having on their paper into a full-fledged essay. As a part of this project, we did the same thing. After giving the free writing task, we asked them to write a full-fledged essay by selecting one of the prominent themes that comes out of their focused free writing. But today in my paper, I will be talking about what happened during the pre-writing stage only, because it's of time constraint, and then the paper is only about this. Later on, we have a second phase of that too, what happened afterwards when they wrote the essays. And that's a separate paper that we will kind of try to write from the data. Yeah, that's not prepared yet, but the data is with me. All right. So focus free writing, as I was saying, is having an extraordinary impact on independent writers, as It teaches how to think critically on a topic and write early sentences that they can rewrite in final draft. So here comes thinking critically. In free writing, you are not thinking critically. You are just, you can imagine or you can write anything. But in focus free writing, when you focus on one topic, you definitely have to have logic. Why you are saying that COVID-19 has, major impact in Bangladesh's economy. Yeah, so you have to think critically. Regarding focus-free writing, Rosenwasser and Stephen also said that this is a very good technique to make the students get rid of their writer's block. So they used passage-based focus-free writing. So the students were given passages to read, and they had to write whatever they think of the passage. And then another scholar, Sharawi, in a study found that Egyptian students were asked to write weekly journals. So when they write weekly journals on given topics they have studied in class, they were able to think more critically than the group. Those were not given a journal task to write on. So the objective of this study or this paper is to report on how
we kind of lost her.
Yeah,
Um,
I think the microphone is mute. Sabrina Apu.
microphone is not, I don't think so. It's probably the connectivity issue.
Yeah, I think connectivity issue. Sabrina?
Yes,
No, she's lost.
it disappeared.
Yeah, she does.
I think network problem
Yeah.
or Wi-Fi connection problem.
Yeah, I think so Dr. Ahmad, Sabrina Ahmad is raising a very, very important issue. I'm trying to fill the gap. Okay, so here at Monash, we kind of tried free writing, and we conducted a research, and we talked about all these issues. For example, whether or not to give a topic or limit them to a topic, because remember it's called free writing, right? So once you assign, or if you direct them to a topic or to a passage, then probably it's not free. You are putting limitation on this. So once you put limitation, that it no longer remains free. But then Sabrina ma'am has brought a new angle to it, and which I quite agree that remember there has been a lot of criticism about pre-writing, that it's usually a lot of garbage that the students write. But remember, the purpose of free writing is to confidence building. So yeah, is she back? No, I can continue, I suppose. I'm talking about my own research. So yeah, what we found, we didn't put any limitation because we thought that's against the principle of free writing. But what Sabrina ma'am is talking about is focused free writing. So that remember, her aim is to introduce critical thinking in it. So if you introduce critical thinking in free writing, then of course you have to direct them to a particular point of view, a particular topic, or particular passage, and so on. So yeah, that's a brilliant. But going back to my own research, we kind of avoided putting any limitation on the students. And we did it for a term, which means about 10 weeks. And we started in week 1. And what we found in week 10 was, remember, the pre-writing is just give them a broader framework and they can write about anything within the framework. Okay. So for example, we would say, write about one thing that you experienced or that you did in the last 7 days or something like that. So then they could say, yeah, we went to a movie, the movie was about that, or we went to play or, visit someplace, and this is what we enjoyed and so on. So, is she back?
No, Sarah just said just one sentence, sir. Sorry for the interruption. May I request you all to take part in our survey? Sagunji has shared our link. It's in our chat box. So could you please go through that survey? I mean, if you want, it's not mandatory, but if you want, could you please go through that link and then drop your comments? That will be helpful for us. Yeah,
that's
over to you, sir.
point.
Yeah, doing it, ma'am, doing it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah. So remember, if we had to do it again, we would like to do it in a better way. Of course, it will depend on what you
Sabrina,
like and how
Sabrina
you like
ma'am
it.
is here now.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's back.
Yes, she's back. Good.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No problem.
It's fine. Yes, fine.
I'll be quick. No problem. Yeah. Okay. So the research question was, how do focus-free writing sessions and discussions during the pre-writing stage help the students to stimulate ideas and think critically? Okay. Now let me go full screen. And we conducted this study through qualitative case study approach, and we utilized observation of the class, what students do, their reactions while we conduct this focus-free writing session. And we looked at students' writings and scribbles, what they have written during this session. And for establishing credibility and trustworthiness of the findings, we used multiple sources of data, that is the students' reaction.
I think we lost her again.
Yeah, seems like that. She's there, but we can't. Yeah.
Yes, Sagunji,
Yeah.
you have some information to share, so maybe we can use this time to share the information about our website and so forth.
Okay, thank you, sir. So just a quick note to everyone, we'll discuss it further as well, how we can accommodate Sabrina ma'am's
like papers that we have.
Oh yeah.
Field notes and students focus. Can you hear me?
Yeah, please.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Can you hear?
Yeah, not really.
Not clear, yeah.
Not clearly. We don't hear you clearly, Sabrina ma'am.
So probably what we will do is, because it's all acting in emergency, let's say. So in the emergency situation, acting in emergency. So what we will do is, if because you are trying to have several attempts to have better connection, but still the issue is the same. So probably we can accommodate you in another session, right, Gamsar versus ma'am Saifa? I think we can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
if she is happy, yeah.
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 Because it seems today there's a connection issue. So what we shall do is we'll share a few information right now and conclude today, and later on in one of the sessions we will see how. Okay, yes, she's there. So we'll write to her. So I'll just quickly share, just to because yeah, it's 11:18 Irish time and we are a little over the time.
Yeah.
She's sharing again.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I'll just quickly go through the findings. So as the first task, we showed the students this picture where you see a woman with balloons tied to the wheelchair and beside the open window. So we showed this image and asked them to write whatever they feel like about this image. And then some of the students wrote that everyone looks happy, looks for happiness, and then she's sitting in the darkness and she's sad, and she has dreams. So the students found that it's positive thinking that the person is having, because she is crippled. She is crippled, but she is optimistic. That's why she is looking out of the window and looking at the balloons and trying to fly away with her mind. So when we conducted this study and when we gave this image, the students could not come up with the word optimism. So they used positive, hopeful, all these words, and we helped them in the discussion after showing this image that you can use this word optimism. So when they jot down their ideas and sentences in their paper, we asked them to stop at 10 minutes, and then we down all the ideas and keywords that they used to come up with this optimism word, and we helped.
Please unmute.
Yes, I think I'm running out of time, right? Yes, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, but we lose you at times.
Yes, because of the internet, unfortunately. The second image that we gave is this one. A white child is hugging a black child, and after seeing this image, the ideas that came into the students' mind is that children are innocent and they don't care about color. So they came up with the idea of friendship, and then no racism, poor, rich, black, white differences. So here, the word racism was not coming into their minds, but we in the discussion session helped them to come up with the idea. Then in the third class, these are separate classes, not on the same day. This is separate class. Another class, we showed a series of war pictures. So in this picture, you can see a Caucasian American soldier is holding a Syrian girl. But we did not mention the setting. We just showed the picture. Then in the second picture, a boy is putting a rose in the rifle. And the third picture, the world within the hands of different colored hands, people. So after seeing this series of picture, as you can see, the title that we used in our paper, A Rose and a Rifle in the Realm of War. So students definitely could understand that this is about war, and we should not be hoping for war in the world. And because it was a setting in Malaysia, the study was conducted among international students in Malaysian University. A Malaysian student, Jamil, he is saying that Japan is a peaceful country. So he is remembering their critical thinking and analytical thinking here, because they're using their experience, what they have and what they know about the context or background knowledge, and utilizing it. So moving on to the discussion. So as Kum says that focus-free writing helps us to write early sentences. So we saw that the students were having support through this focus-free writing to write their early sentences and come up with the ideas what to write in the final essay. And as Villardi and Chang believe that silence is important in giving ideas and perspective. So when they think silently, that is important when we give this task in pre-writing session. And also it goes, it corresponds with Sharawi's and Young's study that focused rewriting helps to think critically in a pre-writing class or stage. Harder and Clement's study about students' fluency of writing, that we could evidently see in our study that the students wrote fluently after the practice, and they analyzed and evaluated various aspects related to the prompts, video prompts, as well as the topics, and tried to tie the ideas together suitable to logical reasoning and evidences, as Roche's ideas were, Roche's participants were doing in this study. And we also saw that shy personalities of the students affect how they bring out these ideas. When we ask the students to talk about their ideas written in the free writing stage, some of the students keep silent. So then we have to help them to say it aloud. But sometimes you cannot force as a teacher. You have to make them, like comfortable in the class. They write well in the paper, the ideas, but they don't want to say it aloud. And also cultural and educational environment in schools that did not encourage them to question. That is another issue that sometimes in our own settings, cultural settings, students are not encouraged to question much to the teacher. So they think that they don't have the freedom to write what they think. So this is encouraged in focused rewriting. So they are given a scope to practice what they think, practice writing what they think. So the implications of this study is that teachers of English academic writing can use this strategy in their classrooms, and especially in ESOL contexts like Bangladesh, Malaysia, Thailand, or where English is used as a second language. And removing writers' anxiety and writer's block is quite successfully done through this method. Yeah, sorry for the interruption of the internet. Yeah, so I'm done with my presentation. I had a short video. If we have time, then only I can share.
Yes, if this is very short, then please
Yeah.
feel free to show us.
Only 5 minutes, but because I do not have host function, I hope I can share the sound. I need host
Okay,
function to share.
Yes, sure. I'll just make you a host.
So this was the 4th class. In the 4th class, we showed this video. This is mostly prisoner, Russian prisoner, and mostly no talking, 1 or 2 sentences. Even if the sound is not going there, I think you will be able to understand what is happening. So this is basically, after seeing this video, the students said that, okay, the grass is greener on the other side. They commented like this. And they came up with the themes of being freedom, and freedom is needed more, independence is needed more. This is a short film called Room 8.
Вредительству самому себе и тюремному имуществу приведет к заключению в одиночной камеры регулярно обыскивают, и при обнаружении запрещенных предметов любой заключенный понесет суровое наказание. Happy birthday, mate. Hi. Hi. Nothing.
you might regret it. I think I'm going to take my chances. Fine. Go ahead. Open it. You happy now? Why didn't you say something? Would you have believed me? I don't know. Where are you going? Isn't it obvious? Open the box. Come on, open the box. So long, pal. Lidice Zakluchonova.
Yes. Yes, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let me give the host function back to Saifa, right?
Yes, thanks.
Yes, so Saifa is the host.
Okay, thank you. So thank you very much for your presentation, Dr. Sabrina Ahmad. And we could learn a lot, especially in our own context. We asked students to write. Of course, in the Nepalese context, from the previous presentations, we have seen that teachers apply different strategies, but also, well, we all are struggling to a certain extent to make them more engaged. And what we could learn from your presentation was that how, showing prompts can make them think and can make the free writing process easier for the students, but also more organized for them. So thank you very much for such a nice and wonderful presentation. We had problem regarding internet connection, but of course the content was really nice and we could learn a lot from it. I hope that the teachers from Nepal and other participants could learn as well. And now I would like to open this floor for question answers. So if anyone wants to ask a question to Dr. Ahmed, please, most welcome. To Dr. Ahmed, and also from other participants. Any question?
Everyone is tired. Last speaker, you see? Last speaker of the session.
Sarif has a question.
session.
Yes, I have a question. Question to Dr.
Yes, please.
Sabrina, ma'am.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
All right, thank you. The question is that this is a wonderful idea to teach creative writing or writing focused free writing. So focused free writing is a controlling topics given by the teachers. That's wonderful. But is it possible to teach these things in a large classroom?
I think yes. In large classroom, I think if in Bangladeshi context.
Yes, in Bangladesh context, I'd like to know. Can't listen anything.
Probably network issue.
All
Again,
right.
yes.
Yes, you might have network issues. Yes.
But if you
Okay,
allow me,
I'll
then
check
I would
with,
like to answer
I
this
work with
question, of course.
international context. Suggest we can give this task as group.
Yeah.
Yes, we.
Yes,
Yeah,
Saifan, answer.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we can hear you, please. I mean, there was this internet.
Because I'm using mobile phone hotspot. You see, that's why whenever my husband's phone is ringing, the internet is going off. My house internet is not working, so my husband has given hotspot on the mobile. All right, so the answer is that we can use group work in Bangladeshi context. So when you use group work, it's a large classroom, it's easily manageable. So you go for groups, you take response from groups. So they can write as a group. Like they will write it, but present one draft from each group. That will help you to manage the time in case of Bangladeshi classroom.
Okay, thank you. So what are the challenges you might face as a teacher while conducting this kind of session?
The challenge we faced is that we used level 4 students, so they were not really fluent in writing full sentences. That's why in pre-writing stage, they were pretty okay. So broken languages, level 4 means IELTS level 4. That means they have less vocabulary knowledge. They are learning in English language, institute, and after that they will go to their main course. Okay, so that's why the challenge was that in pre-writing they were okay, but when we moved to the final essay, the essays were not good because they are not able to write full sentences by themselves. But focus free writing can help this issue. When you work with like student with less proficiency, slowly they pick up. They will improve their writing slowly. So yeah, that we saw that the challenge is when you move to the main essay, afterwards when we asked them to write the main essay, then they could not kind of organize it properly because of their lack of vocabulary, I would say. Yeah. But with senior students and good proficiency students, it will work in the second phase of writing essay well. Yeah. Any other question?
Okay. Yeah, all right. I have a last question. Sorry for that series of questions. That how much time did it take for each topic to teach or to come into a full writing, especially for the adult students?
Full class. It was about. It was 1 hour class. It was special 1 hour class that we took. Yeah. So 10 minutes of free writing, then 15 minutes for discussion, and then we gave enough time for them to write the essays. Yeah. So full 1 hour they get. I can see my students from Red University here. Thank you for coming, Mehnaz. And also Nusrat. Nusrat was there a while ago. Yes.
So yes, I mean, she is my student as well. Yeah. So thank you very much for the responses, Dr. Sabrina Ahmad. Now, I would like to invite Dr. Shagun Shrestha to give the concluding remarks. But before concluding the session, if anyone has any question regarding other sessions, or if anyone wants to add any comment or raise any issue, please most welcome. Otherwise, I
had
would
a
like to
comment.
invite. Yeah, please.
I had a comment that our colleagues are asking for these recordings of all the sessions. So if those are available in any particular link that we can forward.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes, recordings can be found from the website. We regularly upload the recordings. That means the recording of the previous session is available and the recording of this session will be available too. So you will be able to get that from the website.
Okay.
I think I need another email of that website.
Okay, all right.
Like,
We
so
will
that I
send
can
you.
forward it formally. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Can I just say just maybe one sentence? Thank you, Sabrina ma'am. I really like your presentation and your study particularly. So I'm very much interested in, learning more about your study. So have you published your findings? So
It is published in TESOL International Journal. Yes. So I can share that paper with you if you want.
Okay, thank you. Please, could you please, do that? Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot to all the presenters for your wonderful presentations today and all the participants for attending today's sessions. We hope that today's session as well became useful for all of us in some ways, like, to transfer the ideas that our presenters share to our own context. We'd like to see many of you in the third sharing session as well, which will take place on June 05, 2021. So, and next is as regards the presentation slides and the recordings, it will be available in the website. So www.successstoryforum, it's very easy, .wordpress, because this platform is made in WordPress, so .wordpress.com. So there are several tabs, and if you click on presentation tab, then you will find it. And again, we'll also share about the platform in the through the email as well. Next important thing is Edmodo. Edmodo can be, we have a lot more things to share and create a discourse, no doubt. So Edmodo can be, again, one of the good platforms to communicate with each other and, further build the discourse. So please do use Edmodo too. So we'll converse there. And again, within the website, like, since we have enabled the comment option, so you can also comment on the presentation. So thanks a lot. So we already went over the time. So again, sorry for that from the organizer's side. So hope to see you all. And thanks a lot once again for, the wonderful presentations, those presenters, and then the comments made by all the participants as well. Thanks. So with this note, I would say that we would conclude today's event and see you all in the third sharing session. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Ram sir and Saraswati.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
I mean, do we need to discuss anything? Yeah, bye. Thank you very much, Syed Shaheen.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See
Thank
you
you
next
for joining the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sagun has been made the host. So he is managing the recording.